Hi, I'm Soleil from Monterey Bay, and my life was a nightmare until I turned 15. Before I continue, please like and subscribe to Fareeb. I was born with a condition called macrodontia that meant my teeth were much larger than normal size. It wasn't a big deal, but people were giving me a hard time for it. Like one time in 4th grade, I was waiting in line for picture day when my teacher, Mrs. Smith, pulled me aside.
Sweetie, I need you to keep your mouth closed for the picture. No smiling, okay?
You don't want me showing my teeth, do you?
It's just that you're such a pretty girl, and your teeth just may be a bit distracting for the picture.
It's not my fault you think my teeth are distracting. I have a condition, you witch. Maybe I shouldn't have called Mrs. Smith a witch. It landed me in double detention. But luckily, I told my parents everything that had happened, and they were furious. They got my teacher fired for discrimination against a kid, and I felt pretty pleased with myself. Though unfortunately, kids at school started making fun of my teeth after the picture day incident. I ignored them most of the time, but sometimes I just wanted to slap their dumb faces. The only thing that helped me through the day was singing after school in my room. It was my dream to become a singer, but I was way too shy to sing in public. Then one day, everything changed when a new girl came to our class. Her name was Lydia, and she was a famous child actress. I'd loved her movies ever since kindergarten. She was literally my idol. We were even paired as lab partners and instantly became friends. I told Lydia all about the bullying and my witch teacher, Mrs. Smith, and she was so sweet.
Those people are dumb. You're perfect just the way you are. Just stick by my side, and none of the bullies will ever bother you again.
Soon, I found out Lydia was right. Whenever I was with her, the kids left me alone. I was untouchable. By the time Lydia and I were in 8th grade, we'd become besties. But when we got to high school, things got a little crazy. On our first day, kids started staring and whispering at us in the hallway. Within seconds, everyone pushed past me so they could take selfies with Lydia and ask for her autograph. This went on all morning, and by lunchtime, I decided to study in the library for some peace and quiet. Then suddenly, as I was walking to a table, I tripped over someone's shoe from behind. We both fell forward, and I landed on top of some girl.
Get off me, you jerk!
Geez, I'm sorry, it was an accident.
Please! I know who you are. You're the new bodyguard of that teen actress Lydia. You think you're so important that you don't have to look where you're going.
First of all, I don't think that at all. And second, I'm not Lydia's bodyguard. I'm her best friend.
Haha! Well, she's telling everyone you're her new bodyguard. If I were you, I'd find out what that's about.
The girl got up and stormed off. What was she talking about? I found out later the girl's name was Kara, and everyone was super creeped out by her. Part of it was because she wore black lipstick and dyed her hair white. The other reason was because she just sat in the library all day and never talked to anyone. So I probably shouldn't take anything she said seriously, right? But her comment about me being Lydia's bodyguard was just so weird. So I decided to confront Lydia about it, and when I did, she got really quiet.
I have to tell you something. I have a stalker. He's some obsessed fan who's been sending me weird letters that he's gonna kidnap me and we're gonna get married. Ugh, I don't even want to talk about it. I just really need a bodyguard.
Whoa, I had no idea. But wouldn't it be better if you hired some big, tough adult? I mean, I can't fight a weirdo stalker.
Soleil, you're my best friend. You're the only person I trust. I don't want some stranger following me around 24/7. Please, I need you to do this for me.
Okay, don't worry. I want you to be safe. So I'll be your bodyguard. Lydia was really relieved, and I was glad I could protect her. But soon I discovered being her bodyguard was a living hell. Not only did I have to follow Lydia everywhere, I had to show away everyone who tried to talk to her. Lydia just didn't trust anyone, but her fans blamed me for it.
I just wanted to know where Lydia bought her bracelet. I'm not trying to hurt her, you jerk.
Then one day things got really out of hand. I was walking Lydia down the hall when this muscular jock tried to shove me.
Out of my way! Buck teeth! I want to talk to our local movie star, aka my future girlfriend.
Lydia just looked at her phone, and I knew that meant she wasn't interested and didn't want to deal with him. Sorry, dude, but Lydia doesn't want to talk to you. And as her bodyguard, I'll have to ask you to leave. At that second, the guy grabbed my shoulder and I had no idea what he was gonna do. I turned to Lydia for help, but I didn't see her anywhere. Instead, some girl pinned the guy's arms behind his back. It was Kara!
Leave her alone, psycho! My mom's a cop and can have you locked up so you never see the light of day again.
Kara let the guy go and he ran off. I was amazed that she, of all people, had defended me. Wow, Kara, I can't thank you enough for protecting me. I was so scared.
Don't get used to it. I just felt bad for you because you're the bodyguard of that stuck-up princess. Notice how she just walked off while you almost got beaten up?
Kara walked off, and I realized her words made sense. Lydia had abandoned me, and worse. When I kept calling and texting her, she didn't answer. The same day at school, I saw Kara walking into the auditorium, which was empty. This girl was so mysterious. I followed her inside, and seeing her, my jaw dropped. She was playing the piano, and she was incredible. Holy croosh! You're a pianist. I didn't mean to sneak up on you. Please don't punch me. But you're really good, dude.
Oh, you again! Yeah, I play the piano, but I'm not that good. I mean, I kinda am, but I could never play in front of other people.
I totally get what you're saying. I've always wanted to be a singer, but I've never had the guts to sing in front of anyone.
So, why not sing something now? Come on! No one's here and you've heard me play piano. It's only fair.
I took a deep breath and started to sing something. And for the first time, I saw Kara smile.
You're not bad at all, Soleil. You should try out for the spring showcase. If you do, maybe I'll accompany you.
I felt my heart race. Was she serious? At that second, my phone rang and it was Lydia. Girl, where have you been? I've been calling you all day.
I am so sorry, but you have to come to the school parking lot. My stalker just showed up.
Oh no! I panicked and hung up the phone. Then I ran out of the auditorium, totally forgetting about Kara. When I got to the parking lot, I stopped short when I saw Lydia kissing some guy. Lydia, what's going on? Where's the stalker?
Oh, this is him. I decided in the end. I like him and he's cute.
What? Why would you like someone who stalked you and made you feel unsafe?
He didn't stalk me. Stalk me. He's just some guy who hit on me at the mall, and I wasn't interested, so I thought he might stalk me. But I took his number anyway, in case I wanted to give him a chance. And I did.
Are you kidding me? Do you know how exhausted I've been being your bodyguard? Some guy even grabbed me, and you left me to make out with some stranger.
Well, I thought if I told you the full truth, you wouldn't be my bodyguard. You have no idea what it's like to be me, having to talk to fans all the time, and being a celebrity. You've never even had a real friend before me. It's fine. It's just, you have no idea what I've gone through.
What the heck? I was too angry to even answer her, so I just stormed off. I couldn't believe Lydia. Maybe it was tough being a celebrity, but did she have any idea what I had gone through? Being bullied my whole life and never having friends. I decided then and there I was done living in Lydia's shadow. I was trying out with Kara for the Spring Showcase. It was my turn to shine. So the next day, I auditioned with Kara, and it went amazingly. The director was blown away by our talent, and I had no idea what I'd been so scared of. We were in. Craziest of all. All the other performers were chosen, and we got the last spot. But just as we were walking out of the auditorium, I saw Lydia sitting in the back row, and her face was white with rage.
How could you do that to me, Soleil? You knew I wanted to sing for the showcase. The directors aren't accepting any more performers now.
You never told me you were auditioning. You don't even sing.
Of course I sing. And no offense, but you're not meant to be a performer. You need a certain look, and you don't have it. I love you, but someone needs to break it to you.
I felt myself boil with rage. Who was she to say I couldn't be a performer because of my teeth? Then suddenly, Kara whipped out her phone and held it in front of Lydia's face. A video started playing of a girl screeching.
Remember at Grandpa's birthday party when we did karaoke and you sang like a dying cat? Well, I filmed the video, and if you try to get in our way of performing, I'll post it online.
You are so mean, Kara. And for your information, I sing way better now. And I'm not gonna let my bestie embarrass herself in front of everyone.
With that, Lydia stomped off, and I was so confused. How did she and Kara know each other? And why did Kara say Grandpa?
In case you're wondering, Lydia and I are cousins. You guys may be friends, but I'm the only one who knows she's a two-faced witch.
What? You guys are cousins? No, wait. Look, I know Lydia can be a little selfish, but she's not a bad person. She totally saved my life in middle school. All the kids were teasing me because of my teeth, and she protected me. Lydia's the only one who's seen me for who I am as a person and not what I look like.
Oh, babe, you are just too naive. Come with me, and I'll show you what kind of person Lydia really is.
Kara caught my full attention, and I followed her to Lydia's locker. I watched as Kara picked the lock and took out a worn-out journal.
This is Lydia's diary. I like reading it for my own personal entertainment. I swear, if people knew how evil she really is, she wouldn't be famous. Look at all this stuff she says about people.
I grabbed the diary from Kara, and to my horror, it was filled with nasty comments about every kid at school. And then I saw something that broke my heart. Lydia had cut out pictures of me and colored in my teeth with black marker on the page she'd written. I don't know how much longer I can pretend to be this freak's friend, but her loser status makes me feel so much better about myself. Before I could stop myself, I burst into tears. My whole friendship with Lydia had been a lie. Kara put her arm around me.
I know it sucks, but at least you know the kind of person she is now. I'll help you get revenge. We'll crush her at the showcase.
Thanks, Kara, but I think I just need to be alone right now. I went home and ditched the rest of my classes. I didn't come out of my bedroom for 2 days and refused to go to school. I was just so depressed and I felt like such an idiot. And then my mom came to my room with some news.
Soleil, I know you're suffering right now, but I wanted to tell you something that for sure will cheer you up.
What is it?
Your dad and I finally saved up the money to get braces. We can finally fix your teeth.
Why? Because I'm too ugly for you to look at?
Of course not, sweetie. This has nothing to do with looks. It's just better for your jaw. If we get this fixed, it'll be easier to brush your teeth and eat and take care of dental hygiene.
Mom made a pretty good point. So that week, I let her take me to the orthodontist and I got braces. They were super uncomfortable, but I felt better knowing I was finally going to take care of my teeth. Then finally, when I was back at school, I spotted Lydia. I hadn't seen her since I'd read her diary, and when she saw me with braces, she freaked.
OMG, are you crazy? I thought you were proud of how you looked. Yet you got braces, which means you obviously hate yourself.
No, I love myself. That's why I got braces for my health. Also, congratulations. You don't have to pretend to be my friend anymore. I made new friends. Way better friends. With that, I walked away before she could answer. Kara was waiting for me by my locker. I couldn't believe I'd misjudged her. Maybe she was a freak like me, but she was amazing. That evening, Kara and I had our show, and I was super nervous. We had to go back to school at 7 p.m. to get ready. When we got there, crowds of kids were already outside the building. That's when we saw a mob of kids in the courtyard gathered around Lydia, yelling at her. They were holding their phones in her face and saying things like two-faced and sicko. What was going on? That's when I saw Kara laughing in the corner.
I posted the pages of Lydia's diary all over Instagram. Now everyone knows all the awful things she wrote about them.
Whoa, Kara. I know she's a jerk, but isn't that kind of low?
Not as low as faking being your best friend for years, and everyone deserves to know the truth about her. Trust me, Soleil, I still felt a little weird about it.
But I knew deep down, Kara was right. As we walked on the stage later together, the audience cheered and whistled. Don't be afraid of the decisions you make, because life is all about making choices and learning from them.
Hi, I'm Clover, and boy, have I got a crazy story to share with you. But before I spill the beans, please like and subscribe. Growing up, my mom and I were constantly butting heads. She was a marine biologist and dreamt of making me some kind of scientist too. Unfortunately for her, I loved fashion. The only person who got me was Mom's sister, Aunt Lydia. Aunt Lydia ran a small boutique in the city, and even though she didn't make much money, she was the happiest person I knew. She always encouraged me to pursue my interest in fashion and even taught me to sew. every day. I would skip school and run to my aunt's boutique to watch her work. And while I loved it, it didn't reflect well on my report card.
You got a F in science again? You go to the best school, you have the best tutors, and you still disappoint me. When I was your age, I didn't even have a school in my area. I had to walk 10 kilometers, cross a desert, swim through a canal, and walk over 3 bridges to reach the nearest school. It was tough, but I was determined to make a life for myself.
That's an exaggeration.
You don't get in the middle of this. You're ruining my daughter's life. Just you ruined yours.
You're jealous. I'm happier than you'll ever be.
If by happy you mean as poor as a street rat, then congratulations. You take the cake.
Mom and Aunt Lydia fought a lot that night. And the next day, Aunt Lydia told me she was moving to another town.
Are you leaving because of Mom?
No, sweetie. I'm leaving because I want to explore new opportunities.
Then take me with you. I hate going to school anyway.
You will finish your school and then follow your dreams. Now, I have something to keep you company while I'm gone.
Aunt Lydia handed me the keys to her boutique and the cutest Pomeranian puppy I'd ever seen in my life, Bonnie, and she became my best friend. Of course, I missed my aunt, but with Bonnie by my side, I felt less lonely. She followed me everywhere, and to my mom's horror, even slept in my bed. Even my friends adored Bonnie, and they gave me the idea to start a vlog based on her. I posted a bunch of videos with Bonnie, but what really picked up was when I started posting videos of us dressed in coordinated outfits. By the time I was 17, my vlog with Bonnie got really popular, and people even started reaching out for custom orders. I had my aunt's old sewing machine, so I started taking orders online and finally had my own business. Life was good, but Mom still thought I was wasting my time. Not that I cared. I was busy making my dreams come true. Then, one evening, I was out walking with Bonnie when I noticed a cute ribbon shop. I was checking it out when suddenly Bonnie started growling. I turned around and saw this girl staring in her face.
I knew it was you. You're the girl who dresses up like her dog on her vlog.
Excuse me?
Oh, don't get me wrong. I meant that as a compliment. I'm a big fan.
Her name was Daisy, and she told me she was new to the neighborhood. We talked for a while before I noticed that it was late, so I left. The next morning, I had one of my big arguments with Mom. So I was in a really sour mood, and as soon as I walked into my class, I saw Daisy sitting at the back. She saw me too and slid into the seat next to mine.
We meet again. It's like we're destined to be friends. Anyway, we couldn't talk properly yesterday. You see, I had this really bad toothache. I was a kid when I slipped on a mop and broke my front tooth, and it just never got better. You want to see?
That's interesting, but I really need to focus on this class, Daisy.
But why do you need to study? You're so famous and talented. Studies are for losers. You know what? We should totally hang out after school, and I'll show you this cool place. This rock is shaped like a weird tarantula. It's...
Oh my God! Just stop talking! You're giving me a migraine! What part of I need to focus do you not understand?
I've been a bit louder than I thought in. The whole class fell silent while Daisy looked really hurt. I wanted to apologize immediately, but before I could, the teacher asked me to leave for disrupting the lesson. Later that day, I saw Daisy sitting in the cafeteria alone and walked up to her.
Can we talk? No. Need to focus on this spoon so I can bend it with my mind.
I'm sorry. I had a really bad argument with my mom and took it out on you. It's just that my mom doesn't get me. She just wants me to do whatever she's saying without thinking about what I want.
I get it. Parents can be so weird sometimes. My dad's a lawyer and wants me to be just like, but I want to be a stand-up comic. Do you want to hear a joke? Why does an ant never get sick? Because it has antibodies. Oh, one more. Why does the ant never smell bad? Because it wears deodorant. Get it? Get it. It's hilarious, right?
I couldn't help laughing. And after that, we ended up spending the whole day together. Daisy was nuts, but she really appreciated my work and had all these amazing ideas for my business. I won't lie, it felt good to be taken seriously. Soon, Daisy started helping me with my videos, and she hung out at my house all the time. I enjoyed her company, but for some reason, Bonnie just couldn't warm up to her. Once, we were shooting in my living room one day, when suddenly Bonnie charged at Daisy and grabbed her pants. Daisy lost her mind and jumped in panic. They went round and round in circles before Daisy tripped and fell into this huge shelf full of Mom's medals and trophies, and everything came crashing down. Mom heard the noise and came running.
What have you done? I worked 850 hours every week to earn these.
Oh, wow. You did all that and they only gave you this junk? That's sad.
Who is this stupid girl? And why is she in my house?
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Daisy, Clover's best friend, and you must be her grandma, right? Listen, Grandma, I know you're very hurt that we broke these ugly old trophies, but in my defense, I was being chased by this cute but very ferocious dog, and I just happened to bump into the shelf.
Daisy! She's my mom!
Oh, so you're the dragon lady. She doesn't mean that. Mom, we're really sorry for breaking your stuff, but it was a genuine mistake.
I'm getting tired of your genuine mistakes. Clover, now clear this mess up, and I never want to see this girl in my house again. Am I clear?
After that day, Daisy was banned from my house, which made me so mad. It's not like that was gonna stop me from hanging out with her. Soon, it was time to fill out my college applications. I wanted to apply a design school, but Mom was on my tail to apply for a science program, and we were arguing every day. So one night, when Daisy invited me to hang out with her at this new amusement park, I decided to go because it could really use some fun. But 10 minutes into it, I got a frantic call from Mom saying that someone had broken into our home. I immediately took a cab back home and found Mom standing on the porch with Bonnie.
Are you okay?
We're fine, thanks to Bonnie. I was getting dinner ready when she started barking. And then, I saw this guy jumping off the backyard fence, so I called the police. I kept screaming, but you weren't in your room. Where were you?
I was hanging out with Daisy, but that's not important.
Really? Just like it's not important to tell your mom that you applied for a design school. I got your acceptance letter in the mail today.
I got accepted. Why didn't you tell me?
Because you're not going. You will go to a science college like I did. Now, I've already spoken to the dean of Harvard, and he's ready to slide a few grades if you do well in your first year in college.
But I want to go to design school. I'm good at this.
Even Daisy! Do you think I care what Daisy says? Also, you should stay away from her.
A lady in the neighborhood was telling me she'd heard Daisy's dad is known to be involved in some shady business deals. She's a bad influence on you.
Of course you don't approve of Daisy. How could you approve of anyone who makes me happy? First Aunt Lydia, now Daisy.
That's not fair, Clover.
Yes, it is. Just like it's fair enough to choose my own career path. I want to study design, so that's what I'll do.
Saying that, I grabbed Bonnie's leash and walked outside. I kept walking till I cooled down, and when I stopped, I realized I was in some unknown street. I was trying to figure out my way back when suddenly this car stopped out of nowhere, pushed me away, grabbed Bonnie, and left. I ran after the car, screaming for help, when I turned a corner and banged right into something, and I fell and passed out. When I woke up, I was in my room with Mom and Daisy staring in my face.
What happened? What is Daisy doing here?
She's the one who found you passed out in front of your school. What were you doing there?
My school, but I remember being out on a walk with Bonnie and then we got lost.
Oh, Bonnie! Someone kidnapped her! I have to find her!
No, have to rest. You're in shock. And as for Bonnie, I'll talk to my dad. I told you he's a lawyer, right? He has friends in the police department who can help.
Daisy spoke to her dad, and we filed an official complaint. But a whole week went by, and we got no leads. I even reached out to my older clients and posted on my vlog, but that didn't work either. I was running out of time and patience, so I decided to speak to Daisy if she could ask her dad to fast-track the case. But when I called her, she didn't answer her phone, so I went to her place. When I saw a truck parked outside and people were moving furniture from inside the house, I got closer, trying to figure out what was happening, when I heard a low growling. I looked around and figured that the noise was coming from one of the crates covered with a huge cloth. I lifted the cloth, and inside was Bonnie and a few other dogs that looked just like her. Bonnie saw me and started barking, and then someone sprayed something in my face. Suddenly, my head started spinning and everything went black. When I woke up, I found myself in the basement, with Daisy sitting in front of me.
Oh my God! What's happening, Daisy? Why am I here?
You talk so much. You're giving me a migraine. That's what you told me in class that day, remember? I wanted to punch your face, but I couldn't because I needed you to get close to Bonnie.
But why?
That's when Daisy told me how a couple of months back, her dad made a couple of bad investments and lost all their family money.
They lost our house, status, everything. Dad took this huge loan from a crazy mafia lady to start a new business. But that didn't work either. I guess he's just stupid. Anyway, now this mafia lady wants her money back. But obviously, we don't have any. So she gave us this crazy challenge to get her all these Pomeranian puppies. Apparently, these lay bags are worth a lot. Also, They're super rare.
But what does this mafia lady want these dogs for?
Make a coat or something? Or is she just obsessed with puppies? How the heck am I supposed to know? We managed to get a few of them, but when I saw Bonnie on your vlog, I just knew I had to add her to the collection. So I came here, fooled you into being my friend, and waited for the right time to take Bonnie. Would have gotten to her way sooner, but this stupid dog almost bit my dad. He had to jump off the fence, and he broke his knee. He's been limping ever since.
So, it was your dad who broke into my house that night. How could I have been so blind to have trusted a snake like you?
No clue! Guess you're as stupid as my dad. Told you, I'm funny.
That's not funny.
I turned around and saw Mom standing in the doorway, along with Bonnie and a few policemen.
I always knew you were trouble.
Daisy growled at my mom before the police handcuffed her and dragged her away. Bonnie jumped in my lap and started licking my face.
How did you find me, Mom?
After Bonnie's kidnapping, I got paranoid and installed this tracking app on your phone.
What? Relax!
I didn't see you in your room, so I thought you might be at Daisy's.
I'm so sorry, Mom. I should have taken your advice and never trusted her blindly.
The truth is, you trusted Daisy because she showed faith in you, which I never did. And I'm really sorry. I've decided I'm sending you to Lydia next month. Her business is growing, and she could use an extra hand.
Really? I love you, Mom. You're the best.
I was in 4th grade when the teacher asked me to present my poem in front of the class. I was doing so well when suddenly the whole room started to stink. Goodness, that fart could ruin lives. Someone from the back jokingly said,
"Ha ha ha ha! I bet it's Tina."
"What? No, it's not me."
Look at her face. Of course it's her.
I kept protesting, but no one believed me. The teacher told me to leave the class and sent me to the bathroom. When I looked in the mirror, it suddenly hit me why everyone thought it was me. Hi, my name is Tina, and I have something called idiopathic craniofacial erythema, where simply put, I blush a lot. It might sound cute, but I turn crazy red whenever I feel anything. Whether I'm embarrassed, guilty, stressed, angry. Just name an emotion, and I'm a tomato. Please like and subscribe before I tell you how this condition changed my life forever. It was never easy to have everyone know what I was feeling, but it got even worse when Dad started working as a janitor at a posh private high school, and I got enrolled for free. But Dad, I don't think I'll fit in. They're all probably billionaires, and they'll just turn up their noses at me when they find out you work there.
I don't want you to tell anyone that I'm your dad, okay? I don't want anything to be harder for you. And you're just as smart and deserving as any kid out there. So don't let anyone make you feel otherwise.
But as expected, school was a nightmare. On my first day, the school queen, Diane, and her gang immediately noticed me. Their eyes were scanning me up and down, and it was really freaking me out.
You're pretty, but do you own a private island?
Oh, is that a requirement here?
Not really, but everyone here is rich. So I'm just checking which richness level you belong to.
I felt so annoyed. I turned as red as her lipstick, but they thought I was just embarrassed.
Aw, you're blushing. Don't worry, I'm the only one who has a private island. But at least tell me you have a private jet.
One of her minions butted in.
I don't think she does, Diane. Look at that cheap secondhand bag from Walmart.
Diane looked horrified. Yes, of course, I do. Who doesn't have a jet these days? I came in the limo because the jet has gone for maintenance. Just then, I saw my dad mopping the floor nearby. And even though he was poker-faced, I'm pretty sure he'd heard me.
Boring. But since you're pretty, you can join our gorgeous gang. We'll make your school experience beautiful like me.
Suddenly, someone whispered.
Good luck.
I turned around and instantly started blushing. Oh my, he was the cutest guy I'd ever seen.
Hi, I'm Brian.
He greeted me and I could feel my face turning red.
Ew! Why are you so red? You look like a stupid tomato.
Forget about the gorgeous gang. I don't want a freak with us. She's probably simping hard on Brian.
Well, Brian is only available for me, right, babe?
Come on, Diane. How many times do I have to tell you that we're not together?
Yeah, I hear you, babe.
I was so relieved to hear that Brian didn't like Diane, but I was sure it was becoming way too obvious to him that I was crushing hard. So I excused myself and ran away. I knew I'd have to avoid him, but that wasn't easy when we had all our classes together. During chemistry, he sat down next to me. Just then, the teacher started demonstrating sugar dehydration and asked us why sugars turned into black toothpaste after sulfuric acid is added? Everyone looked at her like she'd spoken Chinese. But I knew the answer. Because the sulfuric acid removes water from the sugar, releasing heat, steam, and sulfur oxide fumes. It also smells like caramel. Everyone looked uber impressed. Just then, Brian scooted closer to me and whispered,
I didn't know your brain is as pretty as your face.
Immediately, I turned horribly red.
What's wrong with you? Is that thing infectious?
I could see the girls snickering. What a total jerk. My blushing disease wasn't the only thing that was ruining things at school. It wasn't long before Diane realized I'd never worn anything that screamed $1 million. One day in the canteen, she suddenly came up to me and knocked my lunch tray off the table.
I've been watching you go to school every day and you're just walking.
I instantly turned red, totally furious. Before I could attack her, Dad was suddenly by my side.
That's an awful thing to do to a new student, Miss.
Diane looked like she was about to explode.
Excuse you. Who are you, her dad? Just do your job, you stupid janitor. And that's to clean up our mess. Here's some more for you.
And with that, Diane suddenly kicked the cart and spilled all the chemicals and trash onto the floor.
Do your work properly, or I'll tell my parents they can easily get you kicked out of here.
That's not how you should treat janitors, Diane. They work really hard to make sure the school is nice and clean for us. In fact, you shouldn't be allowed to speak like this to anyone.
Avenue. So am I supposed to cry and hug him for giving me his lame opinion?
No, but you're supposed to treat hardworking people with respect. Imagine how you'd feel if someone treated you that way.
And why do I need to imagine that? I'm pretty rich. I'm never going to be a janitor. I'm going to be sitting in a nice big office one day, running Daddy's business.
The principal, Miss Sheldon, suddenly arrived and asked what was going on. Diane immediately transformed into an angel.
Oh, nothing. The janitor just spilled his stuff and I was helping him.
She's lying. She kicked his things on purpose and was being horrible to him. I was sure Miss Sheldon was going to tell her off, but she just looked uncomfortable and told everyone to go to their classes. I was so angry that she didn't stand up for Dad just because Diane's rich parents gave a lot of donations to the school. That night, Dad surprised me with a beautiful birthday cake.
Yeah, happy birthday, sweetheart.
I'd completely forgotten I was turning 17 today. Thank you, Dad. I'm really sorry about how horrible Diane was to you. I wish I could just punch her in the face. Even the principal didn't do anything.
I'm sure she didn't have a choice, honey. She can't afford to make someone like Diane's parents angry.
But that's so unfair.
Well, I'm sure when you're rich one day, you'll treat people around you much better. Now don't worry about it anymore and open your gifts.
I was shocked to see some branded bags, shoes, and clothes. How did you afford these?
I had some money saved up. This will hopefully get those girls off your back for a while.
I hugged him and promised myself that someday I was going to spoil him and make him proud. But a few months later, my world turned upside down when he suffered from a heart attack and fell into a coma. I didn't know what to do, and how was I going to pay the hospital bills? When I told the principal, I broke down into tears, and she comforted me.
You don't have to worry about anything, Tina. I'll talk to the school board and we'll still keep you in school free of charge.
That's really kind of you, but I have another favor to ask. Please hire me in Dad's place. I really need a salary.
Tina, I'm not sure you want to work here. Maybe I could lend you some money.
Thank you, Miss Sheldon, but I'd rather work for it. Please? She was hesitant, but eventually agreed to hire me, and she was generous enough to double Dad's salary. When Diane saw me in my uniform for the first time, she cackled with delight.
I knew it. You're the janitor's daughter. It's a shame to have a poor freak like you here in my school.
The only thing that's a shame is that there are people like you in the world. Now please get out of my way. In between classes, I'd mop the floor and clean everyone's trash, and whenever I did, Diane would be there to mock me. One time, she peeled a banana and threw the peel right at my face.
Oops, sorry. I mistook your face for a trash can.
One day, we were in the middle of an exam, and she excused herself to go to the bathroom. When she came back, she complained that the toilet was clogged, and I needed to go fix it. But I'm still answering my exam.
You're the janitor here, right? Do your work now.
I was furious. When I checked it, she had purposely stuffed a lot of tissue paper in the toilet. And even worse, she'd written the worst possible things on the bathroom walls. The next time Diane complained about the clogged toilet, I finally spoke up. Ugh, How long should I suffer from your constipation, Diane? I'm dying from the smell. Diane turned red with anger when others laughed.
I didn't poop, dummy.
Then why is the toilet always clogged? It was now her turn to blush and walk out in embarrassment. One day, when I was in the janitor's closet, I was surprised to see a boy coming in with a paper bag on his head. But I knew exactly who he was. Brian, why are you wearing that?
Because you blush hard every time you see my handsome face.
Oh, wow. Not only was he a little jerk, but he was also really full of himself. He got rid of the paper bag and held my hand. Surprisingly, I felt nothing.
Listen, what you did with Diane a while ago was so cool. It was the first time someone stood up to her, and I'm impressed. Do you want to hang out sometime?
I was about to say no when suddenly he leaned in for a kiss. I was blushing now, but in panic. Before our lips touched, the closet was suddenly opened by a super jealous Diane.
You're gonna pay for hitting on my future boyfriend, Tina. You'll see.
One evening, when I was studying for a big test, the principal called me.
I'm really sorry, Tina, but the jocks and the cheerleaders had a big party at the gym, and we need the place clean for an assembly tomorrow morning. It shouldn't take too long.
But when I got to school, I realized to my horror that not just the gym, but the whole school was a total mess. There was trash everywhere and stuff written on the walls. All the toilets were also clogged with tissue paper. Of course, I knew the culprit. I had to finally teach Diane a lesson. I took pictures of all the mess. Then I went to her locker and opened it up using a hairpin. I grinned when I saw what was in there. There was still room for a few things, so I took out the tissue papers from all the toilets and stuffed them in her precious locker. Perfect. Then an idea came to mind. I sneaked into the laboratory and mixed up a few chemicals together. I put my formula on a sponge and wiped it across the wall. The ink came off instantly. I sat down to rest for a while and I just fell asleep there. The next morning, I woke up to everyone gathered around me, and Diane was screaming.
That freak ruined my locker. She did it.
The principal walked into the scene. It's true I did that, Miss Sheldon. But look at what she and her minions did to the school before I cleaned it all up. Miss Sheldon looked horrified to see the pictures on my phone. She turned angrily to Diane.
Diane, you have no respect for the people who work here or for the school property. If you think I will keep tolerating such behavior, you are very much mistaken.
Ms. Sheldon, you know who my parents are, right?
Yes, I do. And I will be calling them right now. I'm going to talk to the school board about having you expelled.
Everyone around us erupted into cheers as Miss Sheldon and a very furious Diane walked into her office. She had been bullying everyone way too long. Long story short, Diane was expelled, and even her minions were suspended. I was about to graduate high school in a few months, and I kept thinking about the formula that I tried in the school lab. I continued testing it at home, and after a few weeks, I felt I'd really perfected it. I set up a website and put up a small video of me cleaning the toughest stains with my invention, and to my surprise, it went viral. I had orders pouring in so fast, I was working day and night to meet the demand. 2 weeks later, an investor contacted me, and fast forward to a couple more months, I was earning millions. I transferred Dad to a better hospital, and just a month later, he finally woke up. I told him everything that happened.
I'm so proud of you, Tina.
I went off to college, but Dad and I continued my business together and moved into a mansion. We supply our invention to a lot of schools for free to make the jobs of janitors easier everywhere. Oh, and I also found out that my condition could be easily fixed by a small surgery, and I could certainly afford it now. Finally, I could keep some secrets. Hi, my name is Lucy. And before in a story, please like and subscribe. Do you know the feeling of having an annoying sister in your life who was just there to ruin everything for you? Well, mine is a psycho jealous sister. She used my condition against me, but I got rid of her eventually. You see, I was born to super rich parents who owned more than half the city, and after I was born, they just went crazy with happiness. On my first tooth party, my dad organized a water park party for all the kids, but when Mom brought me outside, I started yelling, and my skin turned super red like blood. Luckily, there was a doctor in the crowd, and he came running to help. I was diagnosed with extreme photosensitivity that would only increase as I aged. Basically, I could never step out in the sun without getting burned. After that, my parents always kept me indoors during the day, and all the windows were covered with black curtains. Once when I was 4, I cried and said, I want to go to school and have friends.
Oh, honey, you can't. But we'll bring them both to you.
We'll hire private teachers for you and we'll get you a pet.
They got me a really cute hamster, and he was kind of my best friend. All was good until my little sister was born. Her name was Zoe, and she was pure evil. I discovered she was jealous of me once she turned 3. She knew about my condition, but she was still angry that my parents paid more attention to me. On her 3rd birthday, she got me a piece of candy with a candle on it and said,
Now this candle will burn you.
No, honey, I'm only allergic to the sun, not candles.
Oh, so it won't hurt you? Well then, okay.
And with that, she threw the candle on my bed, and the blanket instantly caught fire. I started yelling for my parents, and I almost got hurt getting out of the room. Once when I was 8, Zoe threw a tantrum that she wanted to be homeschooled like me. But, of course, my parents refused. What made things worse was what happened on my 10th birthday, when my parents invited everyone to a super fancy restaurant at night. One sophisticated lady saw me and said to Mom,
Oh, your daughter is very pretty. Like, too pretty. But the other 10, she's not pretty, like, at all.
Oh, yes, the youngest one is just ugly. I wonder if she'll ever get married.
Just then, Zoe stood up and flung juice straight at the women's faces. Then she turned to me.
You just wait and watch, Lucy. I'm going to make you wish you were the ugliest girl on the planet. You'll be praying to God to make you ugly.
That night, I was sleeping when I heard a noise. I opened my eyes and saw Zoe holding a big poster with a drawing of her. Something like she was pranking someone.
Do you see this eye? It's yours, babe. But one day it's going to be mine.
I stood up and pushed her away and locked the door behind her. She was a total psycho. Over the coming years, Zoe just wouldn't understand that I got special treatment because of my condition. I tried to reason with her, so I thought maybe throwing a party where we could both invite her friends would help us get closer. What a stupid decision that was. I was 13 back then and invited the only 2 friends I had, Mark and Emily, while Zoe invited half the school. Suddenly, during the party, Zoe stood in front of everyone holding up a drawing I'd made. It was the 3 of us, me, Mark, and Emily.
Listen here, everyone. So our Princess Lucy can draw. But she also has a little secret. Let me read it for you. I'm so in love with Mark, but I also love Emily. I will soon ask them both out and kiss them both at the same time. I will kidnap Emily if she rejects me. We will be the happiest lovers triangle.
Everyone went silent, and Mark and Emily turned red. I couldn't believe my sister would lie like that. No, you liar. I didn't write that. You just came up with it. Why are you so evil?
Why? Are you so perfect?
I'm not Zoe. I wish I was normal. Just like
you. Oh, like me. You wish I would never have a boyfriend and a girlfriend at the same time? That's just shameless. You do that to the only 2 people who like you? That's just dumb and gross.
Just stop it. Just then, Mike took Emily's hand and left. I was so shocked and embarrassed that I didn't even stop them. I just went to my room and locked the door, and the party continued like nothing had happened. After that day, I knew I had to teach Zoe a lesson, and I knew that the best way to tease her was to live my life to the fullest. The very next day, I invited Mark over. When he came to my room, I made sure to leave the door open so Zoe could hear everything. Mark, I'm really sorry about last night. You know that my sister is...
Listen, Lucy, I don't believe a word your psycho sister says, but I was just too embarrassed to say, so I left.
I put my finger on his mouth and pulled him closer to kiss him. Will you be my boyfriend, Mark? He said yes, and we hugged. Then I heard Zoe's room door close very hard in her face, which for the next 2 years, Zoe was always making it obvious how jealous she was of me for having a boyfriend. She even tried to break into my room several times. Once she used a knife to open it, but luckily I was ready. I attacked her with pepper spray and ran to my parents. Once, she brought home a boy who was 4 years older than her. Dad totally lost it and kicked him out. My parents were getting so tired of her craziness, but the last straw was when she called the police at midnight once. To my horror, she slipped her t-shirt off her shoulder to show scratches on her skin, and she pointed accusingly at Mark.
That boy, he's dangerous. He attacked me. I barely managed to escape.
What? My parents told the cops that she was making it all up, and Mark would never do such a thing. gosh, if you're so jealous, just get yourself a boyfriend. You ugly psycho bimbo. I expected her to say something harsh, but instead, she started crying and fell on her knees. She looked up pleadingly at the cops.
See how my family treats me? Just take me away from them. Please help me. Please save me.
What an actress! The next morning, my parents took Zoe to a psychologist. It turned out my sister had some issues and needed therapy every few days, but she didn't take that so well. After a few days, when I got back from my date with Mark, I found Zoe had prepared meat sandwiches for me. What did she want to poison me? I said no and went to my room. I wanted to feed my little hamster, but I didn't find him there. I started looking everywhere. Then it hit me. Oh my God! I ran back to her. Where is my hamster?
I don't know.
What did you do to my hamster?
I don't know.
Mom, Dad, Zoe ate my hamster. And then I passed out. When I woke up, my parents told me that they had talked to Zoe's doctor and she might be admitted to a psychiatric ward. I wasn't really happy to hear that, but I knew it was for everyone's safety. A month later, Zoe was gone and transferred to that hospital. Life was good, and I had the best time with Mark and Emily for years. It was the day of my graduation. I was so in love with Mark that I wanted to marry him right away, even though we were so young. He agreed, and my parents suggested he move in with us, so we did. During the day, Mark would leave for college, and I would stay home. One day, I called for the maids to get me something to eat, but no one responded. I went downstairs and found no one. Then I heard a familiar voice. I was sure it was the voice of my hamster, but it seemed to be coming from the backyard. I thought I'd just take a quick look, and it wouldn't hurt me, but I just popped my head out the door when suddenly someone pulled me out with all their force.
Hey, miss me? Sister?
What are you doing here?
Oh well, they decided to let me go. I feel much better, actually. You really thought your hamster came back to life? Are you still that dumb? You spoiled Daddy's girl.
And then she pulled me out more, and I was under direct sunlight. It started to hurt my skin, and I screamed. Then I attacked her. One of the maids heard us and came running. When Zoe saw her, she let me go and ran away. Thankfully, I wasn't hurt, and my parents told me that Zoe had run away from the asylum, and they were looking for her now. I was sad about how things had turned out in my family, but my sadness was short-lived because I soon found out that I was pregnant. And 9 months later, I gave birth at home to my beautiful daughter, and I named her Sally. When Sally started to crawl, we all knew she was a really curious, naughty baby. Once she crawled out the kitchen door and out into the backyard, and she was completely quiet. I got scared and ran after her with the maids. When I got there, I saw another basket next to her and a freaking baby in it. It was a boy. The note next to him said, "This is Josh, your nephew. I gave birth to him months ago and wanted to raise him but discovered that was hard. So I sent him to you. Lucy, take care of him, I guess." I looked at the baby's face and tears rolled down my cheeks. I kissed his forehead. This Zoe was full of surprises. When I was about to shut the door and run to my parents, someone pushed it against me. It was Zoe.
Oh, you're crying?
And she pulled me into the backyard again. Thankfully, the maids were able to catch her and call the police. Zoe was sent to jail this time, and I got a restraining order. Me and my family were finally safe. And baby Josh? Yeah, he was hers, and he lived with us. I raised him like mine. And snap! Now I have 4 kids, and we are a happy family.
Hello, I am Charlize from Belgium, and this is my story. My parents were extremely wealthy, strict, and had everything, but all they ever wanted was a daughter. I was born 5 years after my brother Jason, and my parents immediately adored me. Jason looked at me and frowned.
What's the big deal? She looks like a potato.
A very cute potato. Look at those cute girls. As we grew up, Jason really hated that I was always the center of attention. When I started crawling, he would push me under the bed and sofa. He even dangled me out of the window and gave me milk mixed with salt. On my 7th birthday, my parents gave me a beautiful doll. I was overjoyed. But Jason couldn't stand my happiness. When I came home from school, my doll was broken and lying in the trash. I was about to cry, but when I saw Jason standing by the door, I felt a surge of anger.
Jason, I'll lend you.
Why? I made it look so pretty just like you. That was it. Haha.
I lunged at Jason and hit him. Mom and Dad came over and pulled us apart. As a punishment, Jason had to give me all of his toys. So, I won. Later, when I turned 12, Jason got her ears pierced and Dad bought her a pair of huge diamond earrings to go with them. I wanted to get my ears pierced too, but my parents refused. However, I was determined to go through with it. I used my savings to get my ears pierced at the mall, even though I was punished to stay home for a week and had to write an essay on disobedience because of it.
You're so careless and stubborn, Charlize.
A few days after my 15th birthday, our chef approached my parents. She wanted her daughter, Mia, to work as a maid for our family.
She's lived most of her life in the village. I want her to go to a better school, but I don't have enough money, so I thought she could work here and help me. Please give her a trial. She's really smart.
Mia was my age and looked very sweet. It would be great to have someone my age around the house.
I can't believe I'm here! Finally, my life will get better!
She told me that her life in the village was very tough and that her father was a terrible person. However, as we got closer, she was assigned the task of organizing my wardrobe and tidying up my things. She wasn't very good at it, but at school the teachers were very impressed by her intelligence. She was a genius, and I hated studying. So, I made a deal with her.
Hey, listen, I hate school. What if you do my homework and I won't tell my parents how much you suck at cleaning?
You got yourself a deal, bestie.
This girl was amazing and treated me better than my brother ever did. But I guess Jason was jealous because Mia and I were very close. One day, he tried to warn me about Mia.
Hey, you should set some boundaries with that maid. She's always snooping around in your room.
Duh, of course she is. She has to clean it, so she has to be there. Mia's totally awesome.
Whatever.
Once at school, we were having a spring dance, and I was really hoping that Zach, the hottest guy in class, would join me. I had a crush on him since kindergarten, and when he did, I felt like I was on cloud 9. That day, Zach offered to walk me home.
So here we are. Your place? Goodbye.
Hey, Zach, wait!
As he turned around, I quickly kissed him on the cheek. He smiled and walked away. I felt over the moon, but as soon as I caught Mia grinning at the front door, my smile instantly faded.
You kissed a boy? Wow. I was wondering, can you set me up with his friend? I always wanted to have a boyfriend.
Shh! We are going out together. Just don't tell my parents or Jason. You know how strict they are. And I can't just ask him if his friend needs a girlfriend. It doesn't work that way.
Oh, yeah.
Then Mia walked away, clearly annoyed. What was that about? Shortly after, I started noticing my things were going missing. First, it was my favorite lipstick, then my eyeshadow, blush, and eventually, even a backpack. I asked Mia if she had seen them anywhere, but she said she hadn't.
Maybe you left it at a friend's house. Come on, you can be pretty careless. Like the time you kissed a boy at your doorstep in broad daylight.
Ever since she saw me with Zach, Mia had been acting very strange. Sure, I could be a bit careless, but I had never lost anything in my life before. On the day of the spring dance, I was getting ready, and that's when I realized my favorite dress was missing.
Mia, have you seen my prom dress anywhere?
The pink one?
Yes, have you seen it? Wait, why are you crying?
I'm so sorry, Charlize. I borrowed it last week, and I fell, and it got torn on one side. I tried to fix it, but I couldn't. Please, just don't tell anyone or Mom will send me back to the village. I know you won't tell. Look, I guard your secrets too. Like you kissing your boyfriend and how you make me do your homework, remember?
Are you like threatening me?
Perhaps.
I was utterly shocked by her actions. After that day, Mia only became bolder. She kept taking my things without telling me. She also stopped cleaning my room. She even told Mom that I was purposely messing up the room to make her work more. And, unsurprisingly, Mom believed her.
Charlize, you're almost 16. Get your act together. Clean your room. Now.
I was so angry with Mia. I had done nothing but be kind, and she took advantage of me. I started cleaning my own room and locking the door every day before school. If it weren't for Zach, I would have gone crazy. He was like a ray of sunshine in my otherwise dull life. One time we went out and Zach gave me the most precious gift ever, a pair of pearl earrings.
Oh my God, these are so pretty.
Not prettier than you.
Then he kissed me. I was so in love with him. The next day, when I woke up, I felt sick. Mom and Dad took me to the doctor and I found out I had caught a virus and needed complete bed rest. But when I finally felt better, I tried calling Zach. His number was unreachable and he had blocked me everywhere. He even switched schools. But he left me a message on Insta. Good luck with your new life. I'm about to move out of town because of my dad's job. Goodbye. What was that about? I was heartbroken for weeks. One day when I walked into my room, I saw Mia standing in front of the mirror, trying on my earrings.
Hey, get those off! Zach gave those to me! For God's sake, stop touching my stuff!
Zach, the same guy who royally dumped you? Still hoping he'll come back to you. You are very naive. Here you go, your ugly earrings.
I am so gonna tell Mom.
Good luck convincing her. Your own family will never believe you. The careless liar of the family.
Mia was right. My parents adored her. A few weeks later, I saw Jason showing off his new hairstyle, so I wanted to do the same. But when I asked my parents if I could get a new hairstyle, they refused, saying I was too young. Well, they were wrong. I watched some videos of cool hairstyles, but I didn't have enough money to pay for it. So I snuck into Mom's room and took her credit card from her purse. A few days later, my package arrived. I made sure everyone was busy before I set everything up. After hours, I removed the towel from the mirror to see my new and improved hair. What the heck? My hair was frizzy and stuck to my head like a fur hat. Jason heard me screaming and ran into my room.
Oh my God, what happened?
Oh, brother, it went all wrong!
Calm down, take a deep breath. How did this even happen?
Yes, how did it?
But one look at Mia's evil grin, and I had my answer.
You witch! You did this! Why are you this way? What did I do to you? I was always nice and treated you well.
It just annoys me to the core that a dumb witch like you is living this perfect life, while someone like me is just a maid.
You have a serious problem. You're so sick. I knew it was you who did this to me.
Me?
That's enough, Charlize. It's your own fault. I have the credit card receipts. I can't believe you've been stealing from us.
Oops, told you so.
You just wait, you witch. I'll expose you for who you really are.
Best of luck.
A few days later, we were hosting a big party at home. I felt really down because I couldn't attend due to my hair. But then I found a box near my bed. Inside was a beautiful wig. Jason had bought it for me. Suddenly, tears filled my eyes. Jason had always loved me, no matter how much we fought. I quickly got ready, and as I was sipping some soda at the party, I spotted a familiar face. It was Zach.
So you finally showed your face.
I didn't want to come. My dad made me.
Ugh, how could you leave me like that? Zach, did I never mean anything to you?
I left you. Last time I checked, you dumped me because one of the jocks had gotten you pregnant. You told me to stay away because you wanted to be with him. Whoever the jerk was, where is he, even?
Hearing his words, I felt the ground shake. Pregnant? Me? Seeing me shell-shocked, Zach realized I really had no idea what he was talking about. He then showed me Insta messages from me telling him to back off. Checking the dates, I realized they were sent when I was sick, and then it all clicked.
By any chance, did you talk to my maid, Mia?
Actually, yeah. I called your number and she picked up and said you asked me not to call you ever again.
Oh my gosh, what a psycho. Witch. As soon as I saw her talking to another guy, I rushed over and hit her.
You crazy, evil psycho! You went too far this time.
Our screaming drew everyone's attention at the party.
Zach, you should be thanking me. I was saving you from this freak. Yeah, I told a small lie, but it was so worth it. I felt my cheeks turn red and I just wanted to hide.
I had never been this humiliated. But before I could run, Jason came forward and pushed Mia away from me.
How dare you treat my sister this way?
Wait till you hear what she actually did.
Zach told Mom, Dad, and Jason the whole story about Mia's lies, and they were stunned.
Mia, how could you do this? We thought you were a sensible young girl.
Sensible girl? I don't want to be a sensible poor girl. I'm too smart. No, I'm a genius. That's how I ruined your daughter's life. Yeah, I hacked your phone, Charlize, you dumb, useless girl, and sent Zach everything. Someone like him can't be with someone like you. I want your life. Why should I have to work for all the things I want? I won't be a loser like my mom.
Don't talk to my mother that way. And calling your own mom a loser. Mia, you are pathetic.
As if you could.
Before she could even finish, someone grabbed Mia's arm. It was her mom.
Mia, you are a disgrace. This family took you in, treated you as their own, and this is how you repay them? I am sorry, Miss Charlize. My daughter is out of control. I knew she had some problems, but I never expected her to go this far.
Oh, Charlize, we're sorry, darling. We should have believed you. Mia, you're no longer welcome here. Get out, now.
Hearing that, Mia completely lost it.
You stupid rich people! Treating poor people like trash! I hate you! You should all die! If I can't live this lifestyle, no one can!
Mia grabbed a knife and charged at me, but thank God Zach grabbed my hand and pulled me out of the way. The police arrived shortly after and took Mia away.
I am so sorry for ever doubting you. I can't believe I fell for those stupid lies. Isabella, I love you so much.
Shh, it's all in the past, Zach. I love you too. I always have.
Hi, my name is Laura and I'm from Texas. Please like and subscribe. I live with my granny, and she's pretty much the only person I'm close with on this planet. After my parents passed away, she took me in and brought me up. However, growing up, I didn't have many companions. I was always dedicated to my academics, and that's how I managed to secure a scholarship at one of the top schools in the city. But events took an unexpected twist in the 10th grade. It all began when I chose to ride my bike to school one day. Just as I was about to park it, I stumbled over something. My bike then collided with a nearby car. Shoot! The car looked really expensive, and now it had a dent the size of an elephant. I was the queen of broke people. I'd never be able to pay for the damage. I had to get out of here. But just then, two evil-looking shadows showed up behind me, and one of them caught me.
Look at that! She ruined your car and now she's running from the crime scene.
Holy Jesus, not the terrible two! John and Arthur were the two richest and hottest kids in school. However, everyone was afraid of them because they were notorious bullies. And now I had crashed into their car. This was the worst day ever. I wasn't running and I didn't ruin it on purpose, I just accidentally.
Oh, Kitty. Accidentally or not, you're gonna have to pay for this.
Listen, man, I can't pay for it. You want my bicycle? You can have that.
You're making jokes now? You better arrange the money or else.
Oh God, what was I gonna do about these bullies? And then I recalled seeing them harassing a kid really badly after school recently, so I just blurted out, I know your secret, and I'm gonna tell it to the principal.
What secret?
I know what you guys did last Monday! For a moment, they looked shocked, but then John screamed.
What? How? How do you know that?
Judging from their freaked out faces, I could tell it was something significant, and they believed I knew about it. This was perfect. Well, I'm not going to tell you here. I'll tell you in front of the principal. Let's go now.
No, wait, we can talk this out.
Yeah, and you don't need to pay for anything here. Let me check. If your bike's broken, I'll buy you a new one. As many as you want. We'll do anything you say. We'll be your errand boys. But please, just don't tell anyone.
What in the father freaking world? The two most powerful senior guys in school were totally at my mercy. And I didn't even know why, but I pretended to keep it cool because I didn't want them to know I was bluffing. Sure. Then how about you start with carrying my bag? It's so heavy. My hand hurts. As I went around school that day with these two acting like my personal bodyguards, kids were looking at me like I was a magician who had the terrible two wrapped around my finger. The next day, as I stepped out of my house, John was already waiting for me in his brand new car. This was just getting better.
Hey, I'm here to pick you up. So tell me, do you want to go to the beach today or the movies?
What? No, I want to go to school and attend my classes. I have to submit my assignments next week.
Oh, come on, Laura! You should enjoy yourself and not study so hard. Arthur can do your assignments. He does mine all the time. No big deal.
That sounded good. But I wasn't sure if I trusted them enough to hang out with them outside school. What if they planned to kidnap me because of whatever their stupid secret was? So I insisted on going to school. When we reached there, they kept following me around. At first, it felt like I was some princess. But as the day went by, I realized this was a big problem. I had ballet practice after lunch, and just as I entered the girls' changing room, all the girls started screaming. When I turned around, I was stunned to see those two morons had followed me in. Have you both lost it? This is the girls' changing room.
All the more reason for us to be here, right, Arthur?
I pushed them out and locked the door from inside. But when I went to the dancing room, they were already there, dressed in ballerinas' clothes and dancing like toads. What the freaking crabs? What are you guys doing? You don't have to follow me everywhere.
Yes, we do. We can't risk it. What if you go and tell the principal behind our back?
I won't do that.
Well, guess what? We don't trust you.
They just wouldn't leave. And when it was my time to perform, they both started cheering and hooting like they were my craziest fans. What could be the big secret that was making them do all these things to keep me from going to the principal? But as much as I wanted to know, I wanted to get rid of them too. The next day, I left home before they could get here. And even at school, I was on my toes watching out for them. Then during lunchtime, this football jock at school who I had a huge crush on came and sat next to me.
You're the popular girl who tamed those rich brats, and I'm impressed.
I like strong and dominating girls, like you. How about we go, ow?
Arthur picked him up by the collar and threw him out of the seat.
How about I give you a taste of strong and dominating guys?
Arthur, stop! What are you doing? As soon as Arthur let him go, he just ran away. Ugh, why did you do that? He was gonna ask me out?
He asks everyone out. He's a jerk.
Oh, have you looked in the mirror lately? You're the bigger jerk here. With that, I pushed him aside and stormed out of there angrily. Later that day, I was in the library when I saw that football jock kissing some girl behind a bookshelf. Arthur was right. He really was a jerk. I picked up a book and tossed it right at his head.
Ouch!
Well, he deserved it. After that, I went back to solving my math assignment, but I was getting none of the answers correct.
Easy there, Tigress. Let me help you with those.
Help me? Do you even know the— Whoa, how did you do that? I was stunned that this guy, who looked like he probably bought his grades with his dad's money, was actually good at studying. He helped me with my assignments, and honestly, I was starting to feel that he wasn't so bad after all. Just as I was about to apologize for calling him a jerk earlier, John barged into the library.
Thanks for keeping an eye on her while I was away.
Of course. Arthur was just here to babysit me. I felt so dumb thinking he might be nice 2 seconds ago.
So, who's ready to go and watch the new Spider-Man movie?
OMG! I'd been waiting for this movie for months. I screamed so loud with excitement that the librarian kicked us all out. Later that evening, when we stepped out of the movies, it was pretty chilly. Suddenly, Arthur took off his jacket and wrapped it around me. Such a good actor he was. I knew if it wasn't for their secret, he wouldn't care even if I was screaming for help. Soon after, he ran ahead to get the car, and that's when John took my hand and suddenly pulled me close. Whoa, what are you doing?
Aw, come on. I can clearly see you're interested in me. That's why you're playing the blackmail game to keep me close.
What? In your dreams?
That attitude of yours, it's just got me going crazy for you, babe. How about you give me a kiss, now?
This jerk. I was about to push him really hard when suddenly Arthur pulled him away and punched him hard in the face. John landed on his butt.
How dare you touch her?
What the heck, dude? Did you forget who you are? You're a stinky lowlife rat who lives off my leftovers. And how dare you touch me?
Lowlife rat, what was he talking about?
I know who I am, but don't you dare touch her again. Because if you do, I'll shove those leftovers down your throat.
Whoa! It seemed like Arthur was a whole different person. He took my hand, and then we both left from there. All the way back home, he didn't say a word, and I could feel there was something about him that I didn't know. I was getting more and more curious. When we reached home, I handed him his jacket back, and I just couldn't stop myself. Arthur, why did John say all those things about you? I mean, you're rich too.
No, I'm not, Laura. I know it looks like that because I'm always hanging out with John, but I'm a poor nobody.
I don't really understand.
My dad used to work for John's dad, but he passed away a few years back, and I have a sick mom to take care of. John convinced his dad to take us in, and he helps me with money. But basically, since then, I have to do everything he asks me to do.
Oh boy. My heart sank listening to that, and suddenly I just hugged him tight. Thanks for doing what you did for me today, Arthur, and I'm sorry.
Don't be. He totally deserves it. But I really wish you'd never seen us do it. And then you wouldn't be involved with jerks like us.
Seen what? Suddenly he looked at me with surprise. The secret he was talking about, the big secret? Oh yeah, totally saw that.
Wait a second. You don't know what it is, do you? Now that I think about it, you never really mentioned it, because you don't know what it is.
I panicked, and then you guys assumed I knew your secret.
Laura, how can you even do something like this, knowing how bad John is? If he knows you don't know, he'll— Oh God, I can't believe this.
He stormed off angrily, and now my heart was pumping like crazy for what was going to happen next. The next day, when I reached school, I saw Arthur was still hanging out with John. But his face was full of bruises, like someone had hit him really bad. Of course, it was John. Later, when Arthur was all alone in the boys' washroom, I went in. Why are you letting him treat you this way? I know it's John who beat you up.
What are you doing here? And I told you I owe him. Just stay out of it. I don't want you getting hurt.
But you're willing to get hurt all alone? This is wrong, Arthur. You can't let him ruin your life like this. What he's doing to you and the other kids around school, this has to stop.
Yes, but there's nothing I can do.
You can. You've always been with him. You know everything he does. You can go and tell the principal all about it.
But I was there with him in everything he did. I helped him. If I rat him out, I'll be out of school, and I'll be on the streets with my mom.
Just then, John came out of nowhere and pinned me against the wall.
So you're planning to ruin me, huh? You have no idea who you're messing with, little birdie.
And you have no idea who you're messing with, you ugly crow. I smashed my head hard into his face, and he fell to the floor crying in pain. Arthur grabbed my hand, and we ran out of there.
I'm going to the principal. You're right. I can't be a coward and let him hurt everyone like this. Especially you, Laura. I'll deal with the outcomes later.
I'll be right there with you. We went into the principal's office, and Arthur confessed everything, from John's bullying incidents to the biggest secret of all. After the principal had told John he was going to fail in most of his subjects, John trashed the principal's brand new car. One evening, he smashed the windows and the lights and spray painted all over it, with Arthur's help. The principal immediately called John in and said he was going to be expelled. Since Arthur had confessed everything, he was going to be suspended for a while and made to do volunteer work. And suddenly, John turned to Arthur.
You filthy moron! I fed you and you backstabbed me. You're done too, Arthur. Even if you aren't expelled, you can't stay in this school without me paying your fee. And your mom? Who's gonna pay for her treatments now? It would have been better if you had kept following my orders like a loyal puppy, and now you're doomed.
And that's when John's dad walked in looking horrified.
That's enough. I had no idea I was raising such a brat. How dare you exploit this poor kid? Arthur, don't you worry, son. I'm here for you.
Dad, I'm so sorry.
Not a word. Your principal told me everything on the phone, and the rest I've heard myself. I'm sending you to an army school right away.
John kept begging his dad, but it didn't seem like it was going to work in his favor. When Arthur and I walked out of the room, I turned to him and said, "How do you feel?"
Never been better. Thanks to you, Laura, I was able to be brave.
I'm just so happy things will be better for you. So now that there's no secret, are you still going to be nice to me?
Yeah, I'll carry your bag every day.
And then he pulled me in for a kiss.